Alright, I need to do, this is another, I've been having a debate video. Um, this one was about my Obama video, and been having an argument back and forth with this guy. Again, I'll put his name up in the title. Um, he's of the opinion that Obama has less to deal with than FDR. I'm of the opinion that Obama has either equal or more to deal with than FDR. For those who don't know, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the president who basically was the guy who came in and had to deal with the Great Depression. Um, in my opinion, Obama has a lot more to deal with. Not only is there a global financial collapse, which FDR had to deal with. Yes, his unemployment numbers were about 10 points or 10 between 10 and 12 points higher. Okay, but this is the worst, unemployment since 82 or 3, sorry. So it's and honestly, if Obama's team isn't doing the right job, then the numbers are just going to skyrocket. Okay, so that's one. FDR did not have to deal with the cultural changes that are happening right now. The women's right to choose, or women's right to vote, women's suffrage was in the 20s. World War I was in the teens. World War II didn't come until later in his, up until the 40s, when he was still in office. So this is a guy who was like in his third term before he had to start dealing with a war. He had to deal with this slightly, but nowhere near what Obama's had to deal with. Because Obama's dealing with 2 wars. And yeah, the war in Iraq is still going on. The war in Afghanistan is ramping up. And if you want to be technical, 3 wars: the war on drugs, which they're finally, the Obama administration is finally being smart and saying, okay, we're going to back off of that a bit because it ain't working. So, not only that, but the immense social changes, gay marriage, gays in the military. I can just keep going on with the social changes that are happening rapidly in this country. And the pressure that's being put on him to deal with those social changes. And not only is he dealing with, all of that, plus he has to go out and try to, keep our friends happy and keep, try to make the rest of the world realize, we ain't bad because Bush really screwed us. This is something FDR did not do a world tour to go and try to say, hey, look, you know what? We're not that arrogant. Trust me. We made some mistakes. We did make some mistakes, but you know what? You all did make mistakes too. Both of us made mistakes, or we can just go, let's move on, try to build a better future. FDR didn't do that. Okay? Also, FDR didn't have to deal with nuclear weapons. So, the plate that Obama has is, I believe, much fuller than what FDR had. And I know people are going to, when history is written, Obama, unless Obama really screws things up, will wind up having, I think, a much more fuller presidency than even he could have imagined when he walked in that door. But history isn't written yet. I'm looking, I just am looking at the facts on the ground right now as somebody who, who knows history and knows about it. FDR had a lot to deal with, but not as much. Also, FDR didn't have to deal with a party of no. Pretty much anything that he put through got through, including the Marijuana Stamp Act, which I think was absolutely asinine, which should have never happened and was actually thrown out in the 60s. And because of it was the leading cause, was one of the leading things that caused the war on drugs as we have it today. But that's not part of this video. But I want my thing is, history's gonna, I believe history's gonna bear me out. I believe history will point out that Obama is actually a pretty good president, and you know what? We'll see what happens. Is he doing everything the way I'd like him to? No. The thing that happened today with Don't Ask, Don't Tell in the Supreme Court, I'm really not a fan of. I think that was totally stupid. This is, if he wants to really, end it, he could end it today. At least at least put a stop loss on it, and then let the Congress spend, the next 6 months figuring out the details on it. But you know what? That's again for another video. But right now, like I said, to me, if the guy wants to continue debate, do a video. Bring it. I want to see it. Bring your evidence. I want to see it. So that's it for now.